Hey guys, so today we are going to be talking about says versus does, and this is particularly useful when you're preparing for your rhetorical analysis, because not only do you have to say what the text says, right, and offer some sort of summary for context for your readers, but you also need to get into what the text is doing, right, how it actually affects readers. So when writing a rhetorical analysis, we do not simply say what the article says, right? No, we analyze what the text does. So let's talk about some examples of says statements. So let's say you're writing a paper and you want to bring in a quotation. So you might say, Smith writes that 56% of gamblers have struggled with addiction. Okay, so notice that that is what Smith said, right? 56% of gamblers have struggled with addiction. He said that on page 2, right? But when we're analyzing, it's not enough to say what the text says. We have to think about what the text does to us as readers, or its power, right? So reading that, Smith writes that 56% of gamblers have struggled with addiction. What do we think that statistic does to readers, right? So if I were writing this rhetorical analysis, I might say this statistic illustrates the reality and scope of gambling addiction. That's what it does, right? It's illustrating this reality. Or I could say the statistic shows readers, especially those who are not familiar with the topic, that gambling addiction is a powerful problem, right? So notice these does statements, and then I should say the statistic, these does statements don't just restate what the author is saying, rather they get into what the effect of the statement on the reader, or they suggest what the statements actually do to us. Okay, so when we think of words that say, right, when we're writing summary, we could say says, states, writes, puts forward, includes, right? These type of words are helpful when we're writing summary. But when we're thinking about words that do, when we think of words that help us analyze, we can think of words like illustrate, maybe alienates, if it's something that's, if we see something that is particularly offensive. You could even say offends. Or it could shed light on, could send a powerful message, highlights, shows, underscores. Notice these type of words aren't summary words, they're analysis words. And I'll have a full list of these type of words on the Word document that I'll post. But you can begin thinking about, okay, what are some words that say and what are some words that actually do? Okay, so as practice, let's take a moment to look at the following poster. Okay, so take a look for yourself. What does this poster seem to be saying? But what does it seem to be doing, right? So if you had to summarize this poster, what would you say? And then if you had to analyze the effect of this poster on readers, what might you say? So you can pause here and you can do this activity for yourself. So for me, this would be my analysis of the images. So the images contained on the front page of the GAIA website show two individuals carrying reusable bags. The bags are adorned with an image of an animal and are designed in such a way that it appears as though the individuals holding the bags are strangling the animals. On the bags, the words "plastic bags kill" are printed. So notice all of that initial part is just summarizing, right? I'm not actually getting into the analysis, but notice there's going to be a shift where I move from summary into analysis and explanation. So here we go. So though some may find the bags disturbing, the images on them send a startling reminder to viewers that plastic bags are not simply a convenient means of transporting groceries. No, they are threats to animals. By having such a bold message on a reusable bag, the organization GAIA is able to ultimately shine a powerful light on the plastic's negative effects on the environment. So notice in my analysis, I'm suggesting the power of the poster. I'm getting into what the poster actually does to viewers, not just what it says. Okay. For your rhetorical analysis, I hope you keep this in mind, that you're not just saying what the text says, you're not summarizing it, but rather you're actually delving into analyzing the effect or the power or the consequence of what the text is saying.